Hi, I'm Marie-Claire Strawbridge, a partner at Morrison Foerster. I've been involved this morning in the panel that discussed latest developments in merger control. And what we addressed in our panel is really the broad question of whether merger control is getting stricter. I think we all concluded that broadly, yes, that is the case in a number of jurisdictions. It's either getting stricter or certainly more cautious. And what's driving that is probably a number of things. It's sort of tempting to think that it's all about digital mergers, and that's certainly a focus given some concerns about previous under-enforcement. So of course, yes, we are seeing a lot of intervention in digital mergers, but I think the view is that it's much broader than that actually, and I think what we're seeing across a number of jurisdictions are increasing levels of concern around increased concentration, increasing prices, vulnerable supply chains, and weakened economies as a result of COVID, which is really driving, I think, a number of authorities to believe that merger control is more important than ever, and of course that is is creating circumstances which are quite difficult for merging parties to navigate. Of course, we're seeing that in the UK more so than anywhere, with increased levels of intervention, many more cases being referred to phase 2 and many fewer cases coming out of phase 2 successfully. So in that broad context, we discussed a number of really interesting issues around, for example, how parties are navigating some of the more novel and forward-looking theories of harm, the extent to which the different procedural processes and standards of proof might be driving divergent outcomes, both in terms of substance and in terms of acceptability of remedies. We talked about sources of evidence, and of course the increased focus that we're seeing across a number of jurisdictions on internal documents, particularly in cases that involve forward-looking theories of harm, where internal documents are thought to be a better source of evidence. And we discussed whether the balance there is right. And then finally, we touched on some of the more policy-related concerns around issues like sustainability and how those are fitting into merger control assessment, both in terms of identifying theories of harm, but also in terms of identifying efficiency benefits that might outweigh anti-competitive effects brought about by mergers, and the extent to which the current merger control regimes are able to fit that within their existing frameworks.